Coming back from the trailer, I just want to mention that even if you watch the whole film, you'll find it's pretty tame compared to what the miners actually suffered, which is described in detail in the suspenseful book Class Action, another great book that's on your list of suggested books for the final paper. And of course, the film ignores how research played a role in helping the female miners win their case against the company. I was the lead author of that research while I was a graduate student working with my new mentor, Jean Borghita, who is a gender researcher at the University of Minnesota. So I'll tell you the story of how it came about. So there's this legal context for the research consisting of two cases that were prominent in Minnesota in the 1990s. First was the Evelyn Mining Company, the first class action sexual harassment lawsuit filed in the United States. And that, of course, I'll remind you, came from female miners. So what's a class action lawsuit? That's big, right? That's where a company can stand to lose a tremendous amount of money, but it also takes a lot of time and money for the plaintiffs to have to garner and be patient to suffer through. So what it is it means that you file suit on behalf of all the women who have ever worked at Evelyn Mining Company, past, present, and future. And it takes, depending on the state, it takes, somewhere between a handful of women to quite a lot of women, or it doesn't have to be women, of course. Anyone can file a class action lawsuit. The number of plaintiffs that you need to sign on kind of varies from state to state. And part of the drama from the film and the book comes from Lois Jensen, who was the lead plaintiff in this case. It's Jensen v. Evelyn Mining Corporation is the name of the lawsuit. The suspense coming from whether or not enough women at the company will agree to sign on to the lawsuit. And it was a tough decision because so many people in town thought that the women were absolutely the worst thing that could happen to Evelyn, Minnesota, that if they succeeded in winning their lawsuit, that they would eventually shut down the mine, and therefore that would shut down people's ability to put food on the table for their families. So not only were they harassed by male employees at work, but they suffered through tremendous backlash from the community while they were trying to seek justice. And then the second case was the Stroh Brewing Company, where the women who worked at Stroh's in the factory, which makes beer, saw a link between the company's use of sexist advertising and the hostile work environment they were having to suffer in the factory. And at the time that this was happening, Stroh's Brewing Company was running a Swedish bikini team ad campaign, and the women pointed to that and said, that's the culprit. That's what's causing men to treat us so poorly. So who were the Swedish bikini team? Well, it was a group of female models who appeared in ads for Old Milwaukee beer. The commercials ran for several months and were based on stereotypes of Scandinavian women being blonde and having big breasts. Now, as you can tell from this Playboy magazine cover, they are, once again, interchangeable, right? The ways in which women are dehumanized when they're sexualized has lots to do with being scantily dressed, but also not being individuated at all. Just pull out one woman, put in another, they all look alike, which is a way of dehumanizing people. And, but, a picture is worth 1,000 words, so I'm going to give you an example of one of the ads that played a lot on TV.